Welcome! In this explainer, we are going to totally demystify one of the most important topics in mathematics, and frankly, in life, interest. So here's the game plan. We're going to build our understanding step by step. We'll start with the basic language of money, then we'll get into simple and compound interest, see how they compare, and then I'll even show you a pro-level shortcut for your exams. Ready? Let's get started. Okay, so first things first. Before we can solve anything, we've got to make sure we're all speaking the same language, the language of money. So let's get on the same page with a few core ideas.
Think of these 5 terms as our essential toolkit. The principal, that's just your starting chunk of money. The rate is the percentage it's going to grow by, usually every year. Time is simply how long you let it sit. The interest is the actual profit, the extra cash you earn. And finally, the amount is the grand total at the very end, your starting money plus all the interest. Make sense, right? Good.
All right, our toolkit is ready. Let's start with the most fundamental way to calculate interest. This is our baseline, and it's called simple interest. Now, the formula is easy, but the meaning here is absolutely crucial. The interest is calculated only on the original principal. That's the key. It means the amount of interest you earn is the same every single year. It's just simple, predictable, linear growth. All right, enough theory. Let's see this thing in action. Let's say you invest 2,000 rupees at a rate of 5% a year for 2 years. So how much simple interest do you actually make? It's as easy as it looks. We just plug the numbers straight into our formula. So that's our principal of 2,000 times the rate of 5 times the time of 2 years, and we divide the whole thing by 100. Okay, so that gives us 20,000 on top, divided by 100, which gives us our final answer, 200 rupees. And that's it. That's the simple interest you earned over those 2 years. Pretty straightforward, right? And this right here, this is the main idea you absolutely have to remember for simple interest. The principal is fixed. It's locked in. It never, ever changes. In our example, that interest was always based on that starting 2,000 rupees. That's it. Okay, we've got the baseline down. Now let's level up. We're moving on to something way more powerful, compound interest. This is where your money really starts working for you. Whoa, okay, take a look at this. Notice something different? This formula jumps right to the end. It calculates the final amount directly, not just the interest. And you want to know where the real magic is? It's that little t for time, sitting up there as an exponent. That's the powerhouse. Okay, let's run the numbers again and see this so-called snowball effect for ourselves. We'll use a new example, a principal of 1,000 rupees, but at a higher rate of 10% for 2 years. All right, just like before, we follow the order of operations. First up, we solve what's inside the brackets. Then we tackle that exponent. It's squared, right? Because our time is 2 years. Once we have that, we multiply our starting 1,000 by 1.21, and that gives us our total amount. And boom, there it is. The total amount at the end of 2 years is 1,210 rupees. Now remember, this is the grand total. It includes our original 1,000 rupee principal. So the question is, how much of that is pure profit? How do we find just the interest we earned? Well, it's super simple. You just subtract what you started with, amount minus principal. That gives you the actual growth, the compound interest. Okay, so our compound interest is 210 rupees. But hang on a second. If this were simple interest, it would have been exactly 200 rupees. So where did that extra 10 rupees come from? That, my friends, is the snowball effect. In that second year, you weren't just earning interest on your original 1,000. You were earning interest on the interest you already made. Your money literally started making its own money. You know what? Let's put these side by side. Visualizing this difference will make it all click into place. This table just shows it perfectly, doesn't it? Look at the left side, under simple interest. The principal is stuck at $8,000 year after year. But now, look at the right side. Under compound interest, the principal, the amount you're earning interest on, actually grows every single year. And that means the gap between the two just gets wider and wider over time. Okay, you've made it to the final section, and as a reward, I've got an awesome shortcut for you. This is a real pro tip, especially if you're taking ICSE board exams. So lean in, you're gonna want to remember this one. Check this out. This powerful little formula lets you skip all the big calculations and find just the difference between compound and simple interest directly. This is a massive time saver in an exam.
But there's one catch you have to remember. It's specifically for a time period of exactly 2 years.
Let's just quickly test it on our last example. We plug in 1,000 for the principal, 10% for the rate, run the numbers, and what do you know? It instantly spits out that extra 10 rupees we found earlier. See? Instead of 2 big calculations, we got the answer with one tiny, super fast one. That is the power of knowing the right formula for the right situation.
So let's wrap this up with a big takeaway. Think of it like this. Simple interest is linear. It's like adding the same number of coins to your pile every single day. Steady, predictable. But compound interest, that's exponential. That is the snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but it picks up more snow, gets bigger, and moves faster and faster. The growth itself grows.
So there you have it. You've now mastered the math behind that snowball. The real question is, now that you know how to make it roll faster, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Thanks for watching.